Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. PSA, there is a fake account on Blue Sky at Tenkars Tavern. That is not me. At Tenkar is me. If you see an account making questionable statements, it's not me. It's my imposter, my troll. So, in any case, this article is from IGN. Whoa, what do we got here? Well, another Dungeons and Dragons video game in production at Hasbro. Hasbro has announced that following the success of Baldur's Gate 3, yet another D&D game is in production. Chris Cox told Bloomberg, and we'll go to the Bloomberg article after this, that a fifth D&D game is in development but didn't share what it's about, its genre, or the studio making it. It does appear to be in active production, however, as Cox noted in the same interview, that its G.I. Joe game is currently in pre-production. While D&D has spawned video game adaptations to mainstream success, captured by Larian Studios, Baldur's Gate 3 has seemingly set Hasbro and direct owner Wizards of the Coast into overdrive. I've said that already. All right, this is part of their all digital, and they don't really see D&D as the tabletop game driving the money. It's the digital, it's the video, it's all these other things that they can monetize. You get a video game, you can get more better figurines and other third-party tchotchkes into the market. Alongside this mysterious game mentioned by Cox, Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance developer Invoke Studios is also working on a AAA game based on the beloved role-playing game universe. Plus, there's a D&D survival RPG life simulator that the Disney Dreamlight, from the Disney Dreamlight Valley developer. There's a virtual reality game in the works. Demio is apparently working on a game set in Faerun. Interesting. This isn't confirmed to be a recreation of the core D&D experience in a virtual setting, but almost certainly is. Well, it's using the branding, that's for sure. And there's a co-op D&D game codenamed Project Baxter in the works. So it's been over a year, by the way, since Baldur's Gate 3 arrived, July 2023. And it became a huge hit and pulling in $90 million for Hasbro. But the issue is, Hasbro was only getting a share. Now they want it all. And Baldur's Gate 3 is a new high watermark for computer RPGs. So, okay. Let's go to Bloomberg. So, here's the Bloomberg article. I gotta move it over to my other screen. And of course, I moved over the wrong tab. Story of my life, folks. Story of my life. Okay, there we go. So, Hasbro's gamer CEO to focus on play after pairing film assets. Now, there's a name attached to this article that makes me smile. Cecilia D. Anastasio. So she has survived the pillaging, the downsizing of Kotaku. She wrote the article almost a decade ago. Damn, wow. Almost a decade ago about, what was it, the Gamer Widow or something like that. It was about Gil Gygax and how she was being unfairly targeted in attacks and was not feeling welcome at GaryCon, and I was one of the big bad evil guys. So, Cecilia, congratulations to making it to theoretically real journalism. However, this article doesn't read like real journalism. Hasbro Incorporated Chief Officer Chris Cox couldn't hide his disappointment when he opened 2 packs of his company's Magic the Gathering playing cards at a board game cafe in New York. Cox likes to play from a red deck, whose aggressive cards can quickly deliver creatures and spells to batter an opponent. Instead, very descriptive, he get the more contemplative blue cards that require him to patiently build a strategy to deplete his rival's health and win the game. He resolutely shuffled and drew his first hand. Okay, well, let's move on to the actual part of the article. Again, I'm waiting for the bite. There's no bite here yet. Um, they laid off 1,000 workers, considering the move to Boston from a long-time home in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Meanwhile, Hasbro financed movies are no longer being financed by Hasbro. Okay, all right. So, by the way, that whole article I read it to you about from IGN is about one little piece in this article here. We still haven't gotten to it yet, have we? Talking about Chris Cox joining Hasbro in 2016 as the CEO of WotC. Licensing deal. Baldur's Gate 3 garnered $90 million in its first 6 months. Hasbro wants to make more games itself. All right, now we're at the meat of the article. The company has already invested $1 billion in developing video games. Cox says he's earmarked $100 to $150 million a year for future projects, including a new science fiction adventure game, Exodus, headed by veterans from Baldur's Gate developer BioWare. Hasbro is also working on a new Dungeons and Dragons video game that hasn't been previously announced. All right, he fed this to her, Cox said, and an action adventure game based on G.I. Joe that is currently in pre-production. The company aims to release 1 to 2 video games a year by 2026. Video games aren't a short far away to count to the dragon toys and movies. In 2023, Wizards of the Coast canceled at least 5 video games amid a post-pandemic contraction in that industry. More than 11,500 video game workers have lost their jobs so far this year. Some analysts predict the market will rebound in 2025, but still won't hit the COVID-fueled high of 2021. Hasbro is looking to invest more in Magic video game format. Sales of the fantasy card game have grown each of the last 6 years, and in 2022 crossed the $1 billion in revenue. But Cox says Magic Arena, while popular, doesn't harness Magic's 2 biggest growth areas: collectability and its Commander format, which involves more players and cards. They're apparently, I don't play Magic, but all right, they play test something like that. Now, here's where you know that Cecilia is a poser. Magic is adding characters from Lord of the Rings and Marvel Comics into its fantasy game setting. No, you're not. You may be adding them to the card system, you may be adding them, but they're not part of the setting. If you're taking the setting for Magic the Gathering, which we've already seen get converted over to D&D, you're not going to be seeing characters from Lord of the Rings and Marvel Comics in it. So, but apparently, adding Lord of the Rings and Marvel Comics into the game provoked mixed reactions from fans who say Hasbro is diluting Magic's vibe. Still, Magic's Lord of the Rings cards were its second such series that surpassed $200 million in lifetime revenue. Hasbro hopes these sets will bring in new and lapsed gamers. The Spider-Man inspired collection is coming in 2025. Well, if you haven't heard it first, Cecilia broke the news. And then she goes back to this cafe. She should be writing romance novels, honestly. Or young adult fiction. I don't know. But this, he held one card close to his chest, teasing that it can make all the difference in the game. Once his victory was sure, he revealed it to be a useless gray card. What makes Magic so successful is what will drive Hasbro's future success, Cox said with a bit of cackle in his voice. It's grounded in play. Oh, wasn't that good for you? It was good for me. All right, folks. On that note, there will be a live stream tonight at 8 p.m. The vlog and many things. Me, Tom, Don. We got a special guest. It should be fun. Hope to see you there. Links on the bottom of the screen are what helps to support this channel. There are affiliate links. I do appreciate all the help you can give. And other than that, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well. Back again tonight. Later.